Victor and Valentino is Cartoon Network's latest new series, but despite all the things going for it, its first episode didn't do much. So how did the rest of the weekend's premiere episodes fare? Let's follow up with Victor and Valentino in part 2 of my review. Victor and Valentino kicked off with a 4-episode series premiere blog on Saturday, March 30th, but I'm only covering episodes 2, 3, and 4 in this video. I've already covered episode 1 in my previous video, I'll direct you to later. There are likely going to be spoilers abound, so I'll give you a timestamp to jump to where I talk more broadly about the trends I saw in the episodes in question. So, onward to episode 2 of Victor and Valentino. Ah, soccer. The beautiful game and a beautiful pastime. Of course, a show with Mexican influences will have a soccer episode at least once. Problem is, Val's bad at it. So, of course, there's only one way to fix that. Be the vessel for a star soccer player from the underworld. Wait, what? Yes, be the vessel for a star soccer player from the underworld. Come on, it's not like Baby Cacao is gonna do anything, except swindle you for 100 generic pesos. This goes just as well as you think it does. Nice body, Juan Val. But when Juan takes full control and turns into a thematically fitting Hulk, it's time to bring it all crashing down. And hey, Val gets to do this kick he wanted to do. That's nice. Episode 2 is the episode that sold me on the concept. Yes, you could argue the formula I mentioned in my last video is still there, but they've done enough here to obscure it that it's actually interesting, which is not what I was expecting from this show. That, wait, what? I did earlier is also my reaction to this episode actually getting good. Wait, what? Episode number 3 of our premiere run explores the good old sibling fight. Some siblings can never get along, and it seems Victor and Valentino are among them. After they break Abuela's plant, they have to head to the shop to buy a new one. One hasty visit to an alternate dimension later, and we have a little shop of horrors on our hands, which can only be stopped by the power of brotherly love. This was one of the episodes where the formula showed through a little more, and they probably left a little bit of that alternate dimension on the table, though to be fair, they only have 11 minutes. They can only do so much. This episode was still definitely better than the first one, so it really makes you wonder as to why they decided to lead off with one of the show's weakest episodes so far. I also liked how we got to see a bit more of our two leads' personalities this episode, and it makes sense that Val is more detail-oriented and Vic's a bit hasty, that Vic cares for order and that Val brings the ruckus, but put them together and they're an unstoppable team. Wait, isn't that the synopsis for that Nick Kidcom Cousins for Life? Well, this show does it better, at least in this episode. Finally, our 4th premiere episode of the bunch kicks off with a classic case of conflicting parties. The boys don't want to let Abuela Chata down at her 75th birthday party, but also skateboards. Andre and his cool kids are throwing a pool party, and if TV has taught me anything, you do not want to be out on the loop on an inside joke. Otherwise, you'd just be a stage 10 armadillo. You don't want to be that uncool. So how do these two conflicted kids resolve their strange dilemma? Easy. Magic teleportation flute. Being double booked is one of the most classic plots in kids TV, so this is far from my first rodeo. Therefore, the stakes are a bit higher to clear my coolness bar. They managed to clear that bar, and make it to the pool party, and relatively make good on their commitments at Chatas. But then things get messy. Anyway, I will only describe as involving an elephant, an old lady, and a lot of water. And a popular music star as a makeup gift. The 4th episode manages to take a fairly common kids TV trope and make it work in a way that is fairly unique to the show. It didn't blow my mind execution-wise, but it's a competent execution of the concept, which is more than I was expecting from this show. And that's the sort of thing I noticed about these 3 episodes of Victor and Valentino. For those that watched my first episode video, I already explained that the show has a lot of potential in its setup, but it managed to do the least amount possible with it while still filling 11 minutes of airtime. I also accused the show of being overly reliant on the formula it set up in the first episode. So did the show grow beyond that into an intriguing, adventurous upstart that sets the bar high for Cartoon Network series of the future? Honestly, it's managed something to that effect. The show's first episode was honestly pretty bad, but episodes 2, 3, and 4 really made up for it for the most part. You can still see the formula that the show is based on sometimes, especially in episode 3, but it seems Victor and Valentino is committed to keeping the concept fresh, which is something I appreciate. I'm honestly surprised at how well this show holds itself up. Were it not for the fact that Cartoon Network premiered this as an hour-long block of premieres, I honestly would have written off this show, and you can see much to that effect in my review of the first episode. While I don't think it's ideal that CN has 2 fairly formula-driven episodes running right now, this and Craig of the Creek, I feel Victor and Valentino executes its formula better and more consistently than Craig does. But I also can't help but think back to how weak that first episode was. First impressions are really important, and TV shows are no exception. If you can't keep an audience through the length of your first episode, or at worst your first few episodes, then you're simply sunk as a show. Victor and Valentino Valentino did the bare minimum in its first episode, but at least it strung me along as a viewer until the next one, where it vastly improved. But that's not how you should set up your show, because you will lose a chunk of your potential audience who will watch that week first episode and not come back. I was almost one of those people. Victor and Valentino is honestly surprising, not for its plot or its story structure, but for how much of a comeback it made in its next few episodes after a weak start. It will still baffle me why they didn't just lead with any of the other episodes they aired on Saturday. But I think this show is actually going to be the first show on Cartoon Network I'll be watching and following since the premiere of Clarence back in February of 2014. That's right, I have not enjoyed anything new that Cartoon Network has produced in over 5 years. That should say something about the depths they've sunk to since. But Victor and Valentino is Cartoon Network's first step back up again, towards relevancy, towards respectability, towards being an actual, legitimate player in the kids' TV space again, and not just the butt of all the community's jokes. Victor and Valentino isn't groundbreaking in any sense, and contrary to some predictions, it's probably not Cartoon Network's answer to Gravity Falls, but it's a Cartoon Network series that's actually good. And I honestly still can't believe I'm saying that. The promise that Victor and Valentino makes about the future of CN makes me look forward to what else they have coming this content cycle. Most pressingly, Infinity Train, another hyped about series arriving later this year, and real excitement is something no one's really had about Cartoon Network shows for a very long time. I welcome its return, by way of Monte Macabre. This video really changed my mind about Victor and Valentino. If you want to hear my initial thoughts on it, you can check out my video about the first episode, which will either be right here or in the video description. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more reviews and commentary about more television every single week. I'm Benzie Johnson Jr. and I'm enthusiastic about television, and apparently about this show, and I'll see you next time.